if you know anything about this channel, you know I absolutely love foldable / unique cell phones, right? And, I go all the way back to the Surface Duo 1 days, right? And I picked one up recently, and it's still a very awesome device to use nowadays. While it's not the fastest, and there's definitely some quirks, some problems, some, not perfections, still a really great phone. Then you go until the same exact time when the Surface Duo 1 was released, the LG Wing. Now, this is always a phone I wanted to pick up for a very long time, right? It's not only is it unique, it's actually like really, really good for productivity. It has, obviously, as you see on your screen here, it has one screen that swivels out into two separate displays. One beautiful 6.8-inch display, and then one little small display. And I didn't think it was going to be that viable to use nowadays. Now, of course, the biggest issue nowadays it has 60 hertz display. And obviously, to a lot of people, that's like, oh, I can never imagine a 60 hertz display. Now, I do have 120 hertz displays. Obviously, my Z Fold 5, my Google Pixel Fold, etc. But there's really nothing wrong with 60 hertz displays. And going back to them, you do tell a difference, something wrong when you're scrolling in animations. Other than that, though, there isn't much of a difference. Outside of that, the only biggest issue is Gorilla Glass 5 on both sides instead of Victus. That's a big issue, I guess, kind of, as long as you don't drop your phone. Also going to be another issue, of course, is going to be a smaller battery. Also, another issue here is nothing. I mean, it has 8 gigabytes of RAM, but other than that, this phone is perfect. And I wasn't expecting to say that, because there's not many phones nowadays that came out in 2020 or 2021, and you could sit here and say, oh, yep, that phone is just as good today as it was back then. And again, I went into this expecting this phone to be an older phone, not be as perfect, and there'd be a lot of problems. And with LG shutting down their phone company, or their phone part of their company, there isn't much we can expect moving forward from this phone. But now that it has been updated as of April 23rd to Android 13, this phone is almost too perfect. And it kind of scares me. No, I'm just kidding when I say it's not, obviously, it's not perfect. But it's a really great phone. Now, of course, this phone is going to be, if you could buy it right now, renewed for around $400. So that's another thing, right? Price tag for phone, $400 for this phone. In Amazon, different websites, you could probably find it cheaper if you really wanted to. That is such a good price. That is such an amazing price for a phone that really does hold up very, very well. Now, there are some drawbacks, some negatives. First off, you're going to see in this video, the cameras are not the greatest. Now, the front-facing camera is actually a little thing that protrudes from the top of the phone because there's no punch hole camera. So you have to actually go in the app and for that thing to actually come up and show the front-facing camera. That is okay. And in the correct lighting, it's good. It's manageable. It's not bad. The back-facing cameras are kind of iffy. They're kind of iffy, and depending on the lighting, they can be really bad. The shutter speed is very slow, and that's really my major issues with this phone, is the camera system. But kind of like the Surface Duo 1, you can look past the camera system and the camera problems or features or lack of features. The phone's pretty amazing. Software works with the phone. It does everything you need to. There isn't many optimized apps for this phone, in all honesty. And that's a lot of the reasons with the fact that they only lasted a year. And this phone was discontinued after a year. So there isn't really much, companies out there really focusing on, this product or any product like this. Because this is a 1 out of 1. This is a one-of-kind product. There is no other phone on the market right now that gives you or even comes close to giving you this. And that's kind of what I said with the Surface Duo 1, Surface Duo 2. While Google tried to kind of replicate that with the Pixel Fold, they couldn't do it. And that was just simply two planes of glass. This is a whole entire swivel mechanism that really just works perfect. And it's amazing how well with the software both of these, screens work in unison throughout the time you're using this phone. Now, there are some apps that do work. Twitter works perfect. Actually, almost too perfect in a way. So there are some apps that do work, and I'm not going to sit here and say that if you pick this phone up, you're getting $400. Very good price. You're going to, get this phone at like a perfect phone that's just going to give you every little detail you ever imagined perfect. But it's a good phone. And as my daily driver right now, I wasn't expecting to say that. I was expecting to say that there were some drawbacks or some issues. But ever since I picked this phone up, and again, I've been kind of wanting to get this phone for a while, so it's like this is my bucket list here. This phone is perfect. It really is. 24 hours later, I can still say that I have never used a phone this much. And when I say that, I mean, guys, I have used my phones amazingly, like a lot, right? All my phones. But this phone I have not put down because it's so fun. You can literally just pull up a YouTube video on the top screen, and the bottom screen you can do whatever else you want. Go on Twitter, go on whatever, you can go on Snapchat. It doesn't matter. Like, the top screen is literally just an entertainment screen when you have it in swivel mode. You can text easily on this phone by using the bottom screen as a gigantic keyboard. Like, there's really no drawbacks to this phone. Usually there are drawbacks when it comes to products like this because, listen, at the end of the day, a lot of it is a gimmick, right? A lot of these times, these phones are gimmicks. Z Flip 3, Z Flip 4, in my opinion, were gimmicks. The outside display was very small, really unusable. The inside display, after you got through the whole it flips animation, it was kind of over. Z Flip 5, they fixed that. Z Flip 5, now, it's not a gimmick anymore because it actually gives you a usable reason to get the phone on the outside. I can't find a true negative about this phone. And this is me saying this in 2023, almost 2024. The only negative would be the fact that they shut down their production. The software is not, going to ever be updated again. It's Android 13, obviously, which is great. But it's probably not going to get 14. It's probably not going to get 15. And that's truly the negative right there. Battery life in this phone, it's not perfect. Okay, I'll say it like that. Battery life on this phone, if you have it at full brightness, you're probably going to get like 8, maybe 6-7 hours out of it. But if you are smart with your brightness settings and you don't go full brightness on both displays, I would say using this as much as I do with I use both displays a lot. I'm going to tell you right now, you're probably going to get around 8 to 10 hours. And that's pretty much what you're going to get. Which, again, for a phone in 2022 here, phone from 2020, that's not really surprising. That's actually very viable to what we would see in 2020 from other phones. Surface Duo 1, you're probably going to get 8 to 10 hours too. And that's running 2 separate displays. So, again, like I said, at the end of the day, would I recommend picking this up? Yeah, why not? It's a 5G phone, it has 5G. It's not, again, like I said, it's only 8 gigabytes of RAM. You have to remember that. But there's nothing wrong with it. And for $400, I mean, if I were to have this phone or many other cell phones, especially that price tag range, I would definitely go with this phone. I mean, what you're going to get for the productivity level of having these 2 separate displays is pretty much the equivalent of, going out there and spending $1,300, $1,400 for you to be able to get the same similar concept. It is truly an amazing phone, and I say this as in the aspect I did not expect to say this. I went into this phone review / 24-hour period thinking, okay, it's going to be an okay phone, it's going to be an iffy phone, I don't know if I'm like it. It is what it is. No. This phone is, as they would say, everything in a cup of tea. It's everything in a cup of tea. Like, they hit it out of the park with this phone. And it's like my only disappointment, my only, negative here is the fact that they shut down. Because I would love to have seen an LG Wing 2. I'd love to see an LG Wing 3. LG Wing 4. Like, I would buy every single year this product way before it came out. And when it first came out, it was actually very hard to get. There was only select companies that actually sold this phone and sold this product. And I remember when it first came out, I was like, I want to pick that phone up, but I can't. It was very select to what service you had. Now it's on Amazon for $400, and you can get it for any service you want. It's not a paid sponsor, obviously, but I'm just telling you guys the information there that, yeah, you can get it for any product possible. So, as I said before, this phone, A++. A++, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, I can mount it in my car just like I can with any other phone, and it works so seamless, so perfect, so just like it's made just to be like exactly what you need it to be. And, you know, LG, man, I hate the fact it went out of business, but yeah, I mean, that's sometimes how the cookie crumbles, right? This is how it works, but disappointing that happened because they made themselves an absolute gem here. And, you know, usually when it comes to these smartphones reviews, I try my best not to be just like fanboy whole entire time saying, oh, I love this, I love it, I love it, love it, love it. But at the end of the day, you know, that's not always realistic. But it's like this is like a Surface Duo 1 type of aspect for me. I pick this phone up and I feel that same like, wow, like this is actually something amazing. Hardware, technology, and everything works so seamlessly. With Surface Duo 1, the biggest problem was not everything worked perfectly together. It worked somewhat together, but there was also problems and issues. This is not, you're not sacrificing anything. With Surface Duo 1, why I loved it when it first came out, it was always you sacrificing A to get B. And it was worth it because Surface Duo 1 was a great device, but it was always like, okay, well, I gotta give up this, or this is not gonna be perfect, or this is not gonna be good because, you know, I want this, I want that, I want this. But not with this phone. Like, I can't stress this enough. This phone, you're not sacrificing anything. And man, Samsung, Samsung, Google, you guys, I know LG probably has the patent for this, but you gotta figure out a way, man. Because we need an LG wing too. We do. And I never thought I was gonna say that, but I definitely will say that. Anyway, though, guys, if you did enjoy this video, hit the likes, comment down below. We'll see you guys next one. Peace out.